course is worth it? The answer to that question is your client acquisition cost. And so this is a metric that most business owners, especially real estate agents, don't track. They're not looking at this. They're just looking at how much money they're spending and how many deals that they're closing. And it feels like it's working, but they don't actually dig into the numbers. So I want to go over how to figure out your client acquisition costs on a real estate lead. And this is a really important thing to do when you're evaluating new lead sources and deciding whether or not to spend money on the lead source. So for example, say there's a lead source out there that you can go, just spend money on. You can buy leads. Let's say they're buyer leads. So let's say when I'm evaluating a lead source, I'm looking at how much is it going to cost me, and then how many deals am I going to get out of that, and how much money am I going to make on those deals. And then you subtract out the cost of the advertising, the cost of the sale, which would be your commission splits, and what's left over is going to tell you if it's worth it or not. So let's say you're going to spend, you're going to get 100 leads, and you're going to spend $20 per lead. Right? So that means you're going to have an ad spend of $2,000. So you're gonna get 100 leads, you're gonna spend $20 per lead, and that's gonna equal a $2,000 ad spend. All right, pretty simple. Most people could understand that. So next, let's say, and I'm just gonna use a 1% conversion rate. So if you're doing like PPC, most people hope to get 1% nowadays. Other lead sources might have a little bit higher, but I always like to go off like a 1 unit metric. So let's say I'm going to get 1 closing per 100 leads that I generate. So right off the bat, that's going to mean my client acquisition cost is $2,000. All right. If I get 2 deals out of the same 100 leads, then that cuts my client acquisition cost in half. That's going to be $1,000 per client. So how do we know if this is worth it or not? So let's say my average commission is $10,000 per closing. And if you're a team leader or a brokerage and you're providing leads to an agent, then you typically have a split. So let's just say that split is 50%. So we're going to cut that in half. So I'm going to make $5,000, or the brokerage is going to make $5,000 after the split. So average commission, $10,000. There's a 50-50 split, so we cut that in half. That gives us $5,000.